I'm Mike Sherman, and you're watching the voluntary edition of the Press Row. Here with me, by their own volition and choice, free from any coercion, are the Oklahoman's columnists John Rohde, Barry Trammell, and Jenny Carlson. Jenny, just so we're clear, for the record, this is voluntary, right?
Sure. I think so.
Okay, all right, good. Now that we got that out of the way, what do we make of this Michigan mess where players are going public anonymously accusing this coaching staff of violating NCAA rules by coaching them for too long, by keeping them way past the NCAA time limits? What do we make of it?
Well, I think that this is probably something that you probably see teams and coaches go over the limit on occasion, probably across the country. You could probably go from California to Virginia and find teams that do it. I don't think that this is that out of bounds as far as the violations we're talking about. The thing that's really wacky to me is you've got current players stepping out in front of the media, although like you say, it is anonymously, and saying these things. To me, that's a sign of a very discontented team and a very discontented locker room. If people thought Michigan was maybe on the mend and on the right direction, I have to wonder if they're not looking at another pretty disappointing season out there.
Well, I know this. If you're putting in that many hours, you better be better than 3 and 9. I think I'd give them a week off. Maybe they'd respond better. Here's the thing. I don't know, Barry. Is I think you're supposed to get a day off. It's 20 hours a week. A game is 3 hours of that 20. And I haven't heard, and I thought Sunday was the day off, and they're only going sunrise to sunset on Sunday.
Well, this is a case of, you respond to this Michigan story by saying, no kidding. I heard Rick Neuheisel address this subject, and he basically said, it happens everywhere. And he said, what we've got is a culture where some coaches push more than others, no doubt about it. But everybody is breaking the rule. The rule is being broken. And it's a matter of semantics. It is voluntary, and the volunteer portion is if you want to play football, you'll come out and work. So I mean, yeah, it's an all-volunteer army. But once you're in the army, no AWOL is not allowed. So that's what's going on, and I think this is going to have major repercussions. I really do. I think this could lead to
everywhere or just Michigan?
I think it's going to lead to some NCAA legislation. I think they will try to enforce it better. Maybe to the point with doing away with off-season workouts that are either on campus or in athletic department facilities, and or no athletic department personnel there. Rob Glass, Jerry Schmidt, the guys what Bob Stoops has called the summer head coach. I think we might see a lot more policing of that.
That would be a big diversion from what the NCAA has been doing as far as policing football. I really feel like they have almost taken a complete hands-off approach, and they don't really slap down the programs that seem to have gotten into trouble and broken rules. So if they try to put the clamps on football like you're suggesting, Barry, that would be a total change of direction from what we've seen the NCAA doing recently.
It's just like any other rule, though. It's a morality issue. If you want to follow the rules, you can. I guess kids signed a waiver, not a waiver, but it equates to a waiver saying, did you practice more than 20 hours this week? No. And then they sign it. That's the paper trail. So the paper trail leads to following the rules.
Yeah, good solid North Korea type policy there.
Well, at least this is the kids complaining about it. The last time we saw anybody get riled up about this, it was parents complaining. And wasn't this what Dan Hawkins was screaming about?
Yeah.
It's Big 12 football. It ain't intramurals.
D1. It's Division I football.
Well, back to Michigan, though. So Michigan's opened the last 2 seasons with losses to mid-major teams. I guess there's no shame now looking back at the loss to Utah last year in Ann Arbor. But Western Michigan awaits Saturday. Is Les Miles warming up in the Wolverine bullpen right now?
I think Les Miles is the next Michigan coach, if that's the question you're asking. Now, I don't think Michigan's going to lose to Western. But I think there's a good chance that Les Miles is the next coach at Michigan in the near future. I think he wanted to go last time, just terrible timing. He's about to play for a national title, really couldn't do it.
Now he's 8-5 last year. Better timing.
I think
much better timing.
I think Les Miles one day will be the next coach at Michigan.
It's the Roy Williams effect. Don't go to North Carolina
right.
when the beloved coach leaves. Wait a while, let things sort of percolate, let the fans maybe appreciate you a little bit more. And then you go and you're the savior and you win championships. I mean, obviously Michigan is a school that can win championships, just like Oklahoma when they had their down cycle. You looked around and you saw the opportunity for them to win. It's still there. They just need, obviously, I think, something different at coach. Maybe not after this season, but it doesn't seem like it's that far off.
Last time I checked, Michigan was starting 3 quarterbacks. They can't follow any rules. Right? I mean, I think they're starting 3. Michigan State might be starting 2.
What do they got going on
quarterback
up there?
heaven.
Well, holy cow, that means they might not have any quarterbacks.
What a mess, though, they've got at Michigan. Look, they hired a guy they thought was a fabulous coach, hired him a year and a half ago. Since then, he had a bitter contract dispute with his alma mater, West Virginia. Didn't want to pay the buyout. The latest deal is a Ponzi scheme in which he's
lost money.
And in some sort of scam in Virginia. He's lost to 9 teams last year, went 3-9, and now he's got a mutiny, on his hands. A disaster in the hiring of Rich Rodriguez.
I just want to make sure that you have all signed your waivers for this voluntary. I'll collect them after this episode. That's all for us on the press row, but you can stay with the best coverage team anywhere, every day at News OK, and every morning in the Oklahoman.